All right, successful day. I got my visa extended for 2 more months until August. So that'll be cool for our trip to Bohol with this bad boy right here. And
Bad
this,
boy.
well, I was pointing behind you. And she got her
Milk tea.
milk tea. That's always the winner. So success here in Angeles City, getting the visa, getting 3 iPhones fixed, and 1 step closer to Bohol Island. So follow our adventures. Thanks for watching. All right, so the oil light has now started to come on. It kind of, after adding oil, it is much, much less. And when the engine's revving, it's off, so. First it was only at slow speeds. Then it was at slightly faster speeds, and now it's all the time. We put some more oil. It's got a little overfull, and also some kind of anti-friction oil additive. Just really hoping that that's going to do the trick, and that this is a bad sensor. Here's our humble hotel from last night. Wasn't so cheap, but it's certainly not beautiful. Mango tree, coconuts, sunrise, somewhere near BOHOL by the beach, by the ocean. And here's Jaja and the pearl dragon, who's not feeling much like a pearl these days. Why is she not feeling like a pearl?
Because you have a problem about engine oil pressure.
Sensor, yeah. Or
we don't have engine oil pressure.
right. So the light was flickering yesterday, right?
Yes.
At low speed and idle, and now it's on all the time. I had a problem with the sensor before, and I jiggled the wire and tightened the screw. Electrical terminal, and that actually did make it a bit better. Well, long enough for me to believe that was the problem and solved. And it just came on, I guess, of course, when we hit our major trip. So now we're gonna hope we can make it to an auto parts store, get an engine oil pressure sensor, and install it. See if our light's still on. And if it is, then we're going to try to find a garage that's open, probably after breakfast. So okay, so now I'm going to open the hood. I'm going to pinch the hose for the pressure relief off the top of the valve cover, okay? So I'm gonna try to close that with my fingers, and I want you to look on the dash and tell me if that light goes off or stays on, okay? All right. Okay. That naughty one right over there. Yeah, so I'm gonna squeeze that, and you give me a thumbs up if it goes off, okay? All right. So the oil pressure light's basically been on for maybe 200 kilometers, I would say. I'm watching the temp. Oh, here's some really nasty road. That's why you buy a Pajero and not a Porsche. I'm watching the temperature gauge really closely, and it's always there, 85. So my theory is that if we're not getting proper lubrication and the engine is increasing friction, temperature will go up. So far I don't see any signs of increased friction or engine temperature, so just gonna try to limp along, not really going much faster than say 80 kilometers an hour. So we're now going on 300 kilometers, maybe 350 kilometers with the oil light on. Temperature is still staying right around 90, 85, 90 depending on hills. So either we have enough oil to where it's not a big deal, or the pressure sensor is not working, or this stuff we put in, EGB oil treatment, is saving our engine. I'm not sure which of those it is, but so far so good. Later, light's still on. Passed by the ocean a few minutes ago. 5:30 in the morning. Baby's navigating. Oil pressure light's still on. 845 kilometers later. So, if it was gonna go, I would say it would have gone a few hundred kilometers ago. So we're just gonna push through. We're getting close to Lithium ferry, which is the last ferry to BOHOL. So we're all very, very, very tired. Not really any sleep last night at all to speak of. 2 naps, 4 naps. Just to make sure we can get as much kilometers done as we can at nighttime without all the heavy traffic. But the scenery here is just absolutely amazing. So I still haven't been able to find a replacement oil pressure sensor. And it's, let's see, 1,100 kilometers later. So it didn't break at 200, it didn't break at 400. The engine didn't break at 6 or 8. Now we're on 1,000, 1,100. I don't know. Seems like if it was gonna break, it would have already broke. And this is pretty much an organ or bust kind of mission. Either we make it to our house in BOHOL, or we're gonna be technically homeless with all of our stuff in 2 vehicles. So, and if need be, we'll flatbed this thing to BOHOL. The question is getting the certification to get to BOHOL. Oil pressure sensor. Maybe we can find out if we actually do have oil pressure or not. It's a good thing we have this plastic here to stop a level 4 virus. I feel so safe right now. We have more of this stuff, just in case we don't have oil pressure. I like this word right here, anti-friction, engine protector, high quality, low cost, must try to prove it. Well, if we don't have oil pressure, then this may be what's saving the engine right now. Do you mind being on camera? No, it's not like it's only one. Yeah, I don't have this one, but they have this one. That actually looks kind of that looks pretty serious for some reason. Something about this can looks right. Top performance, engine oil booster, reduce engine wear, decrease friction. There we go. So now we've got about 1,300 kilometers on a bright red, engine oil light. And this stuff looks like it means business. So, given that it's about 36 degrees outside and we're driving mostly in the sun and the pavement is probably 180 degrees, this very thick product should do the trick. So maybe right here is the oil pressure sensor light. The oil pressure sensor. And I can't find one right now. Well, the troubling news is that now when I give it fuel, with more engine revs, the light goes off. Let's see here. Yeah. Now with revs, the light goes off, so I don't know. Either thicker consistency has more reaction to the switch, the sensor, or we really don't have oil pressure and the engine is being saved by the products I'm putting in it. I'm not sure where this is made, but the Japanese writing is encouraging. Anyway, it's certainly better than what I have now, I think. So that's coming up soon. All Island at a hotel. It's a nice hotel. We've got a broken oil pressure sensor and a dead battery, but first we're going to do the pressure sensor because we've already done 1,300 kilometers with a red light. And that's a no-no, a big no-no. So I've got my wrench and I've got my sensor here. The naughty offender is right in there. This one. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get a wrench around that. Looks like a power steering line. But I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm going to have to take the watch off for this one. Alright, so I can get the wrench on the pressure sensor, oil pressure sensor, which is right here. Now I just have to be able to turn it, obviously. And this one, oh, that's pretty tight. There it is. Go ahead and disconnect our wire. Going to the red light. Currently red. Let's hope that that disappears into a nice quiet black light again. Uh-oh. That's not... Ah, okay. So we've got the oil line banjo fitting that's actually coming out with the sensor. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to put in a smaller wrench underneath to hold the banjo fitting adapter, whatever you would call that, while I loosen the oil pressure sensor. Okay, so I've tightened it back up again. That's a 17 millimeter. So you're going to want to hold that. There's no reason to loosen that up right now. So now I've got to get my wrench back on the sensor and then hold the two wrenches. Oh boy. There we go. Okay, now we're only loosening the sensor. Gosh, I hope this doesn't break. If this breaks, that's not a good deal. We literally have to have this vehicle completely operational by Monday so we can get to get the ferry to BOHOL Island. Okay. Now the oil pressure sensor is turning reluctantly. Just hoping that's going to get easier as it goes. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it's getting a bit easier now. Just really don't want to break anything. This town that we're in right now, what's it called?
Maasin.
Maasin, okay. Maasin. It has 2 auto parts stores. As per requirement, you have to drop your tools into the deepest part of the car possible. So now I've got to go fishing for my wrench. It's dropped deep down in between the suspension and it looks like the engine mount. So I'm going to pull this intercooler off so I can reach in there and hopefully get it. Well, we finally got the little so-and-so. Tried to get away from me though. Just as I grabbed its tail, it started to just wiggle away, trying to work itself deeper into the mechanicals of the Pajero. But I got it. Back to business here. Now, without dropping this deep into the internals of the Pajero, we're going to try to avoid that hot radiator. Now, make sure to burn your wrist, hands, and forearms on as many hot parts as possible. Make sure you do this just after driving in 34-degree weather. You want a nice solid burn. There we go. I think even the battery's hot. Yeah, it is. Why is that battery so hot? Is that heat from driving or is that something wrong? I'm gonna have to undo one of those. That might still be engine heat. Well, there's definitely some current there. Yeah, I don't think that's enough to explain that heat. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that disconnected. That may be why we had dead battery. I don't know what's shorting out there. That's a new one. This battery's been fine for about a year since we bought the Pajero. But it seems like now there's some kind of short. I know that might just be the clock. I don't know. It's not a very intense spark. I think that this is probably from engine heat. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that disconnected for now. Okay, so once again, back to the, I really don't want to drop that 17 down there again. You know, if you don't drop everything deep into the engine, you're not doing it right. So the chances of your oil pressure sensor falling into the radiator shroud where the fan spins is extremely high. So now we're gonna go look for a long piece of wire like this that's used to hang plants and stuff, and used in most of the construction here in the Philippines. And I think we'll find some over there. So let's go take a look. Those work pretty good, I guess. Now, if you've never experienced the joy of auto part fishing in the engine compartment of your own vehicle while you're in the middle of nowhere on your way to your new house that you've never seen before, then you don't know pleasure. So I'm gonna make a little fishing hook out of this, and I'm gonna try to hook the pressure sensor. Time to go fishing. And if you didn't burn yourself before, this is another opportunity. Now if I can just work the wire, shoot. I don't think there's any way I can get my hand between those fan blades.
Mommy.
I don't think your arm's long enough, and I don't want you to burn your arm.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine. Okay, maybe I can... Oh, wow. I have more joints than I thought I had. Oh, that's hot. Now that's fun. Give me some more of that. All right, so here's the old one. Whoops, let's make sure we drop it a second time. Here's the new one, and by golly, they look exactly alike. One's shiny, and one's probably 20 years old. All right, so let's get this new one on there without dropping it into the radiator shroud. I'm adding extra sarcasm this time. Huh? You know what? I'm gonna get a screwdriver. I'm just gonna use the screwdriver, and at the same time, find out if I need to tighten that tab. Yeah. Little by little, patience is a virtue. This trip is really a lesson in perseverance and patience, but especially perseverance. When you think you want to give up, you just have to keep going. Okay, now they say don't turn this too tight or you'll break it off, and I think that's going to be enough for me. Alright, let's check it out and see if it works. Hop inside, have the missus grab the keys out of my pocket since my hands are all greasy. Hook up our shorted out battery. Oh, let's make sure we get this wire out of here before we start the engine. That might be a good idea.
Nothing else?
No, I think that's it. You see anything else? Oh, you know what? Yeah, there is something else. Guess what it is? The something else is to hook up our new pressure sensor. That's a pretty big something else. So now our sensor is connected. That's nice and tight. Our wire is not grounding anywhere because that is one of the issues possible. If you have a flashing oil pressure sensor light, it can simply be that your wire has damaged insulation and is shorting somewhere on the ground inside the engine compartment as it bounces down the road. This one is not shorted out, so now it's either going to work or not work. Let's find out. Okay, little plug. So that battery is dead, but I don't know if it's because of a short or because the battery's bad. Let's change the battery now.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Overland.
Nice. Well, that explains how we made it 1,400 kilometers. We did have oil pressure, which is kind of what I suspected. Wasn't sure. But it's really good to see that light off. And our new battery's working. Victory and success for today. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I just had to see that again. Whew.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more. Happy Mitsubishi!